So Trump is unfortunately going to declare the national emergency because he doesn't have funding for the wall. Let's talk about it. We are in a time and place where money rules all. And even as we're broke as a country, we have money saved up for emergencies. Like, let's say, for impending doom, for an asteroid that's going to come to the United States. Uh, for some, like, let's say the Ebola crisis happens, Ebola 3.0, or any other emergency such as something catastrophic that can happen to the United States population, and it will render itself imminent as an imminent threat. But Trump is going to use it, which we already knew he was going to declare. He already tried to push out the Muslim ban and all that. He pushed it all the way to the Supreme Court and won. And the reason he won is because there's more Republicans. It's a right-leaning Supreme Court. Well, it does matter what happens, and because there was a Asian ban, a Japanese ban back in the 1950s. I don't know. I think. Well, it was one of those. They were in the FEMA camps, because the United States was in war with Japan, so they didn't want to know. They didn't want to deal with the spies inside the United States, so they had to do that. Unfortunately, it is in the history books, but it's not where you guys can just read it. It's gonna be like in a U.S. history book, encyclopedia, and all that. Because people do try to cover up these unfortunate things. The United States was not a discovered country because there was already Native Americans here. That's one of the lies your third grade teacher told you, that it got discovered by Christopher Columbus. Bullshit. How do you discover something where there's already people there? Like me going to your mansion, your house, and saying I discovered it. It's mine now, and then I end up settling there and then killing people that are inside. Like, no, that's not what you do. Like to what Israel did to the Palestinians. They went in there because the Bible said they belong this and that, and they ended up settling in Israel. The Israelites settled in next to Jordan, by the Euphrates, around the Fertile Crescent, next to Iraq. And they don't belong there. The reason they don't belong there is because they're not a Muslim nation. They're, I would say, more Christian than they are Jewish. And their neighbors around there don't like them. That's why they keep bombing them. They keep going to war, and it's not gonna stop. I mean, if you have a neighbor that you don't like, and you're always going to war with them, you're always killing them and stuff. You think they're gonna like you back? You think they're gonna be accepting? No, they're gonna go to war back to you because that's what human nature are. That's what human nature is. So they don't belong in that region. They're a little bit stupid to be there. They're in danger of their lives. If you haven't seen those videos where there's a little birthday party for a little kid, but then you hear a bomb and it's going, and you hear it, and then all of a sudden you hear this alert system that don't go, and then everybody's like, oh my God, where is it? And then they're trying to cover. Who lives like that? Like, that's 24/7 over there in Israel. Whether you want to live your life like that or not, I'd rather live it happy for the rest of your days, because life is short. You don't want to be living in fear of anything. And for those of you Israelites that are listening to this, get help. Get help. You guys need to open your eyes and move out. Live happy. Like, who tells other people to live happy? Wouldn't you want to be happy yourself? not living in fear, not Anyways, wow, this national emergency is gonna be declared later because nobody gives his funds. It will go to court depending on how this goes out or how it happens. We will see if Trump wins or if he loses. Now, I can't promise you guys anything on this. It is the national emergency should be used for something better, like at least money for the homeless. Then that will be considered helping the American people, even if it's the wrong reason. And the court will be like, okay, well, there's a lot of homeless people, and unfortunately, we'll let it slide. But if it's for something egoish, for a wall or something, for a campaign promise that's ineffective, because China has a wall and it didn't work. Israel has a wall and it didn't work. There's Nigerians being deported all the time and it's not working. Now, let me give you a scenario of why walls don't work. A wall is designed to be an obstacle. That's it. What do you think they do in American Ninja Warrior? They jump over, right? They go under them or over them or beside them. But that wall don't stop them. That wall ain't gonna stop anything. People can jump over. All they gotta do is think, or critically think through, and then get through it, or break bars from the middle inside, and that's what we do. They don't stop anything. If anything, the cargo's gonna go, like anything that they're willing to stop can go on top and over it. I'm willing to show you guys why a wall doesn't work. I'm willing to jump over walls for you. If I could jump over that border wall, I would do that shit too. Because I'm an Aries. I love going through obstacles and proving people wrong. Anyways. Now, China has a wall, the Great Wall of China. Who knew? Who called it Great Wall? Who called it great? Bullshit. Right now, that wall doesn't serve any purpose but for tourism, making money, because it didn't work. Immigration, you can't stop immigration. You cannot stop an indigenous people being in one settled. I think I've talked about this. And this, one of our videos. You can't stop an indigenous people living in an area where they already been there for a lot of years, because you yourself as a settler don't know the landscape better than they do. So if they know that there's some holes and rocks that they can just go through and walk through, or take off and then go through and then go through that wall that you made, that house, they're gonna be there regardless if you get mad, if you put all the money, if you start shooting them, killing everybody. No, they know the land better than you, and therefore that area of land belongs to them because they've been there millions of years. They've splattered blood, they fought there, they know weaknesses and strengths of the land, they know where to cultivate. You don't. You don't know every single rock in that soil to say that you know the land that it belongs to. They know whether it's gonna explode if you throw if they know if there's rocks made of TNT with dynamite. So all they gotta do is just light it, and you just settle there. You're standing on top of that mineral, that TNT. Get off my wall, and then they just incinerate and they just throw an arrow and you just blow up. Like, it's not your home, bro. Like, move out. Whether you want to stay there and be egoist and say it's my land, well, if you gotta say it's your land and move out, it's not your land, bro. You gotta say no. The Pope Francis said, the truth is like a lion. It defends itself. Or, you don't have to defend it. Pope Francis of Assisi are the Pope to the Catholic Church right now. A quote from him. And so far, these American people have been saying, "Oh, you took our land, this and that. You're taking our land. Get out. You don't belong here." That all immigrants do is bring drugs, destruction, pain, and all this other stuff. And the native population is saying, "We know because it's their land." And the the government couldn't get rid of them. With Manifest Destiny, if you look at the books, that's really in the history book. If they haven't taught you guys that, the Manifest Destiny, you should look at it, be an open mind, graphic. Viewer discretion is advised on that subject. But you cannot kill a jackrabbit population even if you get all the hunters in the world to be there, because jackrabbits are animals. They know the land. They're native to the species to that land, and I mean, there's no restrictions on killing jackrabbits over here in the Arizona desert. I'm just saying, like, you can't kill them off. There's too many numbers. Now, if you suppress them, as human beings, we adapt. That's naturally what we do. So you're telling people, get off the land, this and that. You start tearing them off. Well, they'll adapt. Like, they'll start making more. They'll start taking your women, making more kids. And then it's gonna be a mixture, and then you're not gonna like that. You can't deport a native species from their land. Cali, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas was part of Mexico, so you are never gonna get rid of Mexicans in that land ever, no matter how you put it. Now, there's people who believe, oh, I am Hispanic, I was born in the United States, I have more rights, get off my land, it belongs to us. Those kind of people are stupid, because the land belongs to them as much as it belongs to all the other Mexicans. Now, whether they want to believe it or not, they want to be ignorant, is on them. But we cannot tell the people what to think. But we can only tell them the truth, because then that'll set them free, and then they'll stop looking stupid after they actually understand. Get what I'm saying? But so when somebody says, "Get off my land," I know we should get off your house. That is your house. You know the ins and outs of that house. You know where that floor creaks, and where if a stranger steps on it, you know if either it's gonna break, or that person's gonna go through, or it's gonna stab itself. You know that. You know every single hole in the walls of your house. We understand that. But whether it is land fixtures, uh, if it's land settlements, regions, immigrants are the ones who hold those contracts to that land. Not physical contracts. I'm saying land fixture contracts where they belong to that because it was their land. Whether they leave or not, it's on them. But you can't get mad if you settled around there. And do not like your neighbors, alike to what Israel has done. Whether you want to live your life in fear, or a racist motherfucker that you are, you cannot be mad. Just be mad at yourself, because you are in their territory. Whether you are not indigenous to go on to Cali, and then you see a lot of Mexicans and say, "Oh, why is this a democratic state?" Like, slap yourself, man. Like, it's a democratic state because it belongs to the Mexicans. Like, don't be a idiotic train wreck and start running around like a headless chicken. You know. So I'm going off subject, but I'm trying to prove a point. This national emergency will be declared, and it's gonna soon go to court. It's gonna be stopped. It's gonna be a whole runaround. The thing about it, that I mean, go ahead, Trump, do your little circus move. Try to make the lion do a circle or whatever. But what I'm saying is that they're playing around with taxpayer expensed money. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, Trump should play with his own money before he comes to us. Like, he said Mexico was gonna pay for the wall. So far, he has lied on that. He broke his promise. And those people who voted for him are like, "Oh, we can go to Congress and get it." Like, don't be naive, bro. Like, wake up, take your head out of the sand, and wish for the best. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't care. Share this video, whether this gets out to the people so they can wake up and be more intelligent. Don't do it for people to insult them. Do it for their intelligence. And Jose is out.